So here we go, Matrin versus Genra in the quarterfinals of Division 2. As those are two players that did pretty well in the group stage. Matrin going first place in their group, and Genra coming up pretty hot at the beginning, 2 wins, but then losing against Vulcan HD Gaming. So coming in as second place in their group and ending up now here against Matrin in a pretty hot match. As we are on Vertigo, the bands were Chemicals, Death Row, and Tulix for the maps. So, and division bands are 4th Motschützen, 30 and 30 US for this game here. So that should be quite nice. As we are into the action now. As always, if you want to help us get check out Matrin, link down in the description or in the chat right now. And if you want to get me closer to wearing a uniform, wearing a costume for the finals, more subscription, guys, more Twitch Prime, and so on. Vajvetka's coming around here, all around. Osa, Strela, D20 from the get-go. That's interesting. D20 against KDA. That's interesting because KDA has good artillery for counter battery. And the D20, you have to be really careful of them. And I mean, the MTLB is around, so they can be repositioned, but it takes a while to set them up and move them around again. So against the Molkas of KDA, that can be dangerous. Obviously, with the Spetsnaz, Genra is here quicker, as they have the forward deployment. And then 39th, that units, which are all a bit slower. But quite a couple of them coming up. Superior PO, TADBV, Motostralki and a BMP2. Another BMP2 coming around from over here. Another BMP 1P with Motostralki Medis for the north. Conquerors coming in there as well. But the Spetsnaz and Spetsnaz OP already getting into the building here. Spetsnaz OP, get rid of the UATs. Vajvetka on the fire. Conquerors coming in from the other side. BT-76 rolling up there as well. Good amount of BT-76 all around the map. Mi-8 sitting above everything as well with its rockets. So, yeah, Matrin needs to come in a bit slower. Has the +3 though. Has the CV in first. CV's on the other side not coming in just yet. Couple T-62s moving up from the rear. Spetsnaz closing in onto the Vajvetka. Getting shot upon by the BMP now. Spetsnaz OP not quite on range there. Vajvetka here should go down in a second now. Especially once the Spetsnaz have reached the building. BMP 1P needs to be careful. Spetsnaz OP nearly range. Not sure why they disengage here. They could have shot onto them. Not sure why they didn't take that RPG shot. Meanwhile over here, Conquerors. Ooh, might get a snipe on the Strela. Strela gets shut down. Conquerors now opening up fire onto the Osa as well. That's a loss that Matrin for sure can't take. The Strela is already painful. Losing the Osa here would be really, really bad. Osa goes down as well. That would enable now Genra 4 Mi-24 bombing runs, 21 bombing runs on all of this stuff here now. This is risky now for Matrin. No AA against KDA can be really, really painful. Osas on the other side for Genra are around. Spetsnaz OP got the kill onto the BMP. Mi-8 helicopter is up here though as well. As the D20 does open up fire. SU-22 coming up with a bombing run here for the Conquerors. But might go down afterwards. Get the double kill there. Destroys 2 buildings at once. Osas get the kill though. Together with the Flak 57. So still a fine thing for Genra here. Who now has a CV in as well. A couple of T-55s coming up. TADBV on the other side. So this is already a rough start here for Genra, for Matrin when it comes to the frontline units. At least has the tick right now and still has a increase of force, but losing the 2 Osas there to the Conquerors, losing the bomber now to the AA. Good setup from Genra all around. Having the advantage in positions as well, with a lot of nice units and good stuff up here. Spetsnaz still alive. Mi-8 though will end that now. That's a good fight. And there's little against the Mi-8 up here. No AA right now in the north. Flak 57 coming up though. And the MiG-23 AA on the hunt for it as well. And it's still flying up high. Matrin didn't move it down closer to the floor, so it will get shut down here most likely. Yeah, MiG-23 gets the kill. Doesn't hit the Mi-8 here just yet, but the Spetsnaz at least got killed. MiG-23 can get out of here alive. Whilst the D-20 keeps on firing onto the KDA Schützen. Me-2 moving up. KDA sitting around. MiG-23. MF trying to get the hell out of there. +3 for Matrin. Keeps on the take with the next one. So has the advantage at least in points. But Genra has the advantage in position for sure at the moment. TADBVs much bigger than any tank that Genra can field. Much better armed and armored than all the T-62s, which are the top end of Genra. But Genra has the advantage of numbers. KDA Schützen's not cheap. Has a lot of cheap bombers. Has a lot of cheap tanks as well. T-55s, T-62s. And has a good amount of helicopters and so on as well. MiG-23 trying to come around. Will get the Mi-8 here maybe? No, doesn't quite get the kill there. Still comes around. Doesn't quite get shut down. Should be able to get out. +3 still for Matrin. Now that has been stopped. T-55 ace rolling forward. T-76 hits the Saperi RPO, but has to be careful of the medis. MiG-23 is doing a bit of strafing. Not the greatest of strafers, out of ammo now as well, but the Saperi RPO can't do anything about the T-55s here, so they are a bit out of luck here. Saperi RPO's number 2 under fire by the T-76 needs to get the hell out of there. Matrin with the point advantage now at least has the forest down here. Like, if you lose the forest, it's kind of done. You're kind of done for. Now brings around Coops as AA. That's nice as well. A couple of Iglas. So the AA setup should be relatively decent. But the position-wise, it's still an absolute advantage for Genra right now. Just needs to capitalize on it with a CV. CV coming in for the south. That will make it a +2 there. On the other side, a couple of Motostrelkis coming up. A couple of T-62 M1s for the north. And that should be pretty good. Spetsnaz OP. A good amount of T-55 sitting around. KDA Schützen could easily move forward as well. Mi-8 rockets sitting back here. Mi-2 recon. Chilling down low. T-62 quite close to it. Second Mi-2. Maybe could move around here, get some nice spotting out. Ah, no, Iglas are around. Can't really do that. But more and more T-62s rolling up. Though, the thing is, if you give 39th all the time to build up again, 39th has the better combined arms. By a bit. So, I feel like Genra should keep up the pressure here. With all the T-55s. Like, that's a lot of units. Artillery is hitting it now, though. I don't think there's artillery on the other side yet. No. There's a D-20s actually in Genra's deck as well. What? We haven't seen D-20s in a while. Like, currently it feels like the meta is all self-propelled guns. Now we see D-20s on both sides. That's kind of wild. As T-62s come up. Motostrelkis come up. Odlini Porovichki trying to come around. Not able to do so. As they get shot up there quite quickly. Medis getting a kill onto a T-55 there. CV finally in the south for Genra. Will get a +2. +2 does take a while though to make a difference. Only 80 points per minute. MiG-21 bomber coming around in the north. 2 cubes though. Should be able to get it killed eventually. Not stopped. But no. They are a bit too far away. Also not killed. MiG-21 really low. Down to 1 hit point, but get its bombing run through and will be able to come back. Not quite as cheap as before. KDA in general is not nearly as cost efficient as it was last patch, but still a good deck. Still a nice combined arms, really cheap combined arms, and a couple of special units like the Spetsnaz and so on and the Book that make it quite nice. Though, yeah, you don't have the super cost efficient T-55s anymore. The Book is a bit more expensive. And so on. Like there was a good amount of nerfs. MiG-21's also not as dirt cheap anymore, so it's not as insane as it once has been. But I would say there's still a solid advantage that could be pushed maybe here for Genra. Though the artillery did a good job here for Matrin, pinning this down a bit. The D20 really doing its job. T55s have been killed off in a solid number as well. 2 T62 still on the other side, so it's not that easy anymore here for Genra to push through. +2 still on. CV coming in for the south though now, so that would stop the take there. Next CV coming in for the north for Genra will get the take up again. The D20 for Matrin sitting in the rear. D20 of Genra not unloaded just yet, whilst the Osas are sitting in the rear. D55 trying to deal with the Motostrelki. Motostrelki not quite going down. Conquerors gets the kill onto the T55. Yeah, T55's pretty vulnerable to stuff like that. And they are not in the numbers here anymore that they once were. Like, T55s in big bunches, super scary. T55s, if you only have 1 or 2 of them, not really that good. CV now arrives for Genra in the north as well. Will capture that. Will maybe achieve a +4 for a couple of seconds, but then it will drop back down to a +2 once the T80BVK arrives in the south. SU-25 here is a bit scary, but the MiG-23 plus OSAS should have this under control. The Coups once more not that efficient. One of them gets hidden. Once more MiG-23 will get out alive though. And the SU-25 goes down. But there's no tanks here whatsoever anymore for Genra. And that's a bit annoying, as there's still T-62s on the other side. Mi-24P has to be careful. Took a bit of damage, but at the moment not that much AA around. Strela coming up. ATGMs flying for the T-62s. Ooh, T-62s have to be careful. They don't want to cross the open like that. First of them should go down relatively soon. Strela coming around now with the missiles. Mi-8 has to be careful. Ooh, Mi-8 already killed out of the sky. Mi-24V AA can be pretty helpful against the Mi-24P here as well. Strela still has 6 more missiles, so that should be enough for the Mi-24 as well. There's no long-range AT anymore right now for the Strela, right? Unless the Conquerors gets the hit. No, Conquerors misses, so the Mi-24P needs to be really careful now with these 2 AA pieces around. Genra still on the +2 with the capture in the north, but south is now contested. And Genra not having super much in here right now. But there's a T80BV in the front line. Artillery coming in now from the rear. D20s on both sides firing. Whilst we have a good amount more T55s rolling in. Spetsnaz GRU looking around. KDA Schützen and Spetsnaz OP getting reloaded. Another Motostrelki in a BMP coming in here. Helicopter still around. The Mi-24P has 10 ECM at least. It's a bit more survivable than most other helicopters. With its one frontal armor looking really, really sharp as well. One of my favorite looking helicopters in the game. T-62s opening up fire against the KDA. +2 still on. Genra closing in on the advantage of Matrin. But a CV is coming up for Matrin, though till that can get in here safely, there might still be a time going around. T-62 hitting up the KDA Schützen. KDA versus Motostrelki. Spetsnaz OP trying to close in. Ooh, getting pretty close, but not sure if they will make it, as there's a lot of stuff firing upon them. They're now stunned down. Gamble of Genra not paying off here, whilst more T-62s coming in. T-62Ms that also have the ATGMs. Using the Bastion ATGM to fire. Landing on target down here from the D20. Really surprised that both sides use these. As more of them come in here on the side of Matrin. Second one. The Malka can hit them so hard. MiG-27 AT coming in the north. With 2 really hard-hitting ATGMs. For the T-62. T-62 not smoking off. MiG-27 gets the kill, but gets murdered by a hell of a lot of AA that is now around. Genra now ahead of Matrin in points, but just slightly. And obviously the game is still long, 26 minutes remaining, so nothing here is decided at all. It's a really, really close game, as the southern situation is completely in limbo still. T80BVs sitting around everywhere. No clue who will win there now. As a lot of Motostrelkis are ready to push in here. T62, good amount of AA, Me-24P all sitting around. MiG-23 coming around to hit the Me-24. Not quite getting the kill. Not quite getting the kill there. As a lot more T-55s come in there for the north as well. And that could be scary. The T-62 down, there's actually not that much. 2 Conquerors teams, that's helpful. Artillery also being annoying here once more. MiG-23 not finding the right target and flying directly over the coops. That should be punished with death. Strela not hitting though. And the coops ran out of ammo last second. So they couldn't get a second shot off. Only one hitting. So Genra really lucky there. Not getting killed off there for that mistake. But at the same time, Matrin setting up a bit of a flanking maneuver here. A lot of units in here for this being somewhat of a dead space. But obviously they can move in here and then they maybe could strike up north. So that could be a bit scary for Genra, who is now ahead with more than 100 points. +2 starting to pay off. Artillery coming in. Onto the Strela on the other side now. 2 D20s though. Opening up onto the AA pieces over here. We have more T-62s coming in. Genra now has found the tank button and does keep it pressing like if he's playing Zerg with roaches in StarCraft 2. T-55s coming in here in numbers. I would say they are pretty comparable to that. Like T-55s are kind of the roaches. They are replaceable. They are somewhat well armored. They can fight and they can win in fights with everything. But if the enemy can micro, they start to become relatively useless relatively quickly. MiG-21s get a nice hit in here. Strela does not hit the MiG-21 over here. Motostrelki being hit. The coops not being resupplied yet. So the MiG-21 run is nice. But the KDA shits over here finally get thinned out. So the CV might finally get in here for Matrin. With Genra added 200 point advantage, 230 point advantage. So can Matrin turn this around? T-55s ready for another push here. Little recon now for Genra. Genra should maybe... Okay, 1 BT-76, but that's not quite enough. More T-55s coming in here. Oh, boys. Oh, boy. Iglas trying to hit the Me-2 down here. Artillery hits nicely onto the T-55s over here. Does a lot of stress, does a good amount of damage as well. Me-2 has to get it the hell out of there. As it was flying over the infantry as well. And I'm not sure if only tanks right now is the solution for Genra. Might work out though, but now more and more good anti-tank is coming around for Matrin as well. And TADBVs, if they are used correctly, can eat up a lot of those. A hell of a lot of those T-55s, especially if they're combined with Conquerors all around. So this might not end well for Genra in the long run. Still 22 minutes. 300 point advantage now though. And the MiG-21, ooh, that's a juicy hit, isn't it? At least gets 1 kill. Doesn't take any damage, so will be around soon again. D-20s continue on firing. Whilst the Motostrelki Medis sit around. Conquerors sitting in the rear. Me-2 flying above everything. T-55s coming around in numbers. T-62s sitting around everywhere. Let's one more T-55s come in. Me-8 empty, flying forward. Good amount of rockets in them. Artillery hitting here, but I feel like Genra is not bringing around enough bread and butter units. Not enough recon, not enough infantry here. Like the meat shield is not there. Like it's more T-55s. It's just T-55s. And last patch when they were 45 points, that might have worked out because they were so cost efficient. It really didn't matter how many you threw away. They always somehow got cost efficient. For 55 points, it's not quite the same equation anymore. Like they are still cheap, but it's percentage-wise a quite big difference. So I'm not 100% certain this is going to work out here. The Me-8 helicopters are doing a good job, but I would like to see a bit more infantry. I would like to see a couple more Conquerors or stuff like that. Maybe more artillery, like Malkas, could be really helpful. instead of just the T55 button. This is going to be interesting. T72 around in numbers as well. Down in the south, Mi-8's doing a good job. SU-22 cluster coming up for the T-80 BVs. Ooh, and they're both really close to each other, but the cluster will miss as the T-80s move last second, and the E-Glass get the kill there, together with the Coupe. So SU-22 down. That's a good kill. That's a really good kill. Those planes cost 280 points, so getting one of those killed is really worthwhile. Motorstruck Hero getting murdered by the Mi-8 MT rockets immediately afterwards. And the T-80 VVs tried to cross the open. 3 of them have assembled here. That's a heavy force. They're outclassing the enemy tanks by such a big margin, but there's so many T-55s here. They are all around the battlefield. T-62, all of them getting pushed back. Mi-8 MT trying to move forward. That's the BMP-2 and the T-80B move around in the north. Rockets flying around again. Try to hit the T-80BV. Not doing too much damage though. And the first one goes down to the E-Glass. E-Glass 2-shot at Mi-8s. That's why I'm currently not the biggest fan of Mi-8s. They get shut down quite easily and they are pretty expensive for that. As they also don't have any cannons usually. Or the ones that have cannons have weird gun pots that are not doing super well either. Meanwhile, T-20s keep on shooting, keep on stunning stuff. I'm surprised we don't see Malkas. We see more D-20s on Genra's side as well, but they're not used for counter battery. I'm not even sure, I don't think they can counter battery, can they? 17,000 meters? I think they're further away from each other than 17,000 meters. Genra might have them on counter battery order, that's why they don't shoot, maybe, but they're too far away to actually counter battery on this map, as this is a pretty long map, and this should be longer than 17,000 meters, or might be longer than 17,000 meters. It's close, I guess, but yeah, they're now firing into the south here. Could be quite nice. Artillery trying to come in for BT-76. Not quite getting the hit. More T-55s moving forward. BT-76s have to be careful. B-20s coming in hot. 18 minutes remaining. Genra still over 300 points advantage, but the 3 T-80 BVs move out once more down here. T-20s shooting around all over the battlefield. Igla under fire. T-55s versus T-80Bs. Obviously not a fair matchup 1v1, but if you throw enough of the T-55s onto the problem, it might work out. A lot of stress damage in the north. T-20s really getting at it. Second Mi-8 rocket still around here. More MTLBs and Urals coming around. And that's a lot of D-20s now. Whoa. I'm surprised that we'd see D-20s though. Like, I feel like the Malka is just so much better. Both in damage output and it also just survives stuff. Plus it can counter battery across the map. Because it has insane range as well. So I'm surprised we see these guys around. Helicopter in the north, by the way, went down. That Mi-24. And T-80Bs and BVs are moving forward here as well. A good amount of E-Class all around the place now as well. The place is swarming, and the T-55s on this range not looking too hot against T-80s. So they're a bit in a rough situation here as well. And you can't really hide the CV well on the right side of this map. The right side on is a bit in a bad situation on this map in the north. So the artillery of Matrin could potentially snipe that. For now, they're firing onto the tank formation in the south though. E-20 from the other side coming in. Landing all over the place as well. Trying to deal with the Motorstalkies and co. Igla going low, but not going down just yet. 730 to 429 points. That's the T-62 move forward. ADBV gets a nice penetration. Mi-8, MT moving forward. Igla gets the hit. Rockets land on the BTR. But Eagler will get another shot out and will get the kill. Second Mi-8 goes down. T-62s and stuff go down here as well. T-80BVs still all around. One is damaged, but not killed. And that can get repaired. Ural already in position. Another T-62 coming up. BMP-3s moving forward as well. And that's looking a bit rough here right now for Genra. Not quite having the units around. D-20s trying to hit the tanks, but they're off target here in the south. So, for now, Matrin might have a good chance here now. Turning this game around. Might have a good chance of turning this game around. 300 points, not super much. 15 minutes, more than enough to get that. If you start now, as T-62s and T-80BVs are rolling forward. BMP-3s helping out as well. Spetsnaz under fire. Our 20mm mortars smoking off all around the place. Motostrelkis rolling in. BMP-2s sitting around there as well. That's KDA Schützen. Try to help out. Saperi Apio under fire. T-80BV moving in. More T-80BV shooting ATGMs into the north. T-55s under heavy fire. Su-22 cluster bomber coming in. Getting a nice cluster strike out there. Doing a good amount of damage. Su-22, MiG-27 coming around everywhere as well. Su-22 HE bombs hitting from the other side. Doing a good amount of damage as well. Su-22s getting shut down. T-55s rolling forward. T-62s getting a lot of kills. T-55s, when stunned down, are so inaccurate. So they don't hit anything anymore. And MiG-23s going to die here in numbers as well. All the tank numbers have been decimated. Yeah, that's the dangerous thing about clumping them up like that. If they all get stunned down by artillery, then they become so useless. And that was really well done by Matrin. Took a couple of losses, but T-80BV still around in numbers. T-62 still around in numbers. On the other side, no tanks whatsoever now for Genra. And Genra is in a world of trouble down here in the south. Planes all getting killed off by the Coops and the Osas. And in the north, it's not like the Genra can push in there either, as it's only a couple of T-55s. They can't cross the open against T-80BVs, BMPs, and a couple of Conquerors. That's not gonna happen either. So Genra has to find a way of how to hold the south. D-20s trying their best now, trying to get the damage in there. And they actually do a good amount of damage there now. From the rear. 4 of them continuously firing. But more units are needed. MiG-21's trying to come in. Mi-8 helicopter. So with the Coops and the Osas, they're still solid AA around. The Osa is out of ammo at least. That's something. But still so little anti-tank here. The T-80BVs all over the place. Mi-24V AT coming up as well. The 4 D-20s really are kind of it. They're kind of the tool. There's 3 D-20s on the other side now as well, though. And they are on a good target as well. With their shots. They are hitting the Spetsnaz and the KDA where it hurts as well. So this is not looking hot for Genra here in the south. But for now, the 300 points are still there. 12 minutes. 12 minutes of fighting tooth and nail to keep that. KDA Schützen trying to come in again. Luck might get the Mi-24V at AT down here. Yeah, that should die. Good kill there. Mi-8 hitting a couple of units with rockets here. That will be helpful. Mi-8 also having the Malyutka ATGM. That's a pretty bad ATGM, but it at least does something. Yeah, 1 damage per hit here on the T-80BV. Not a super great unit really, but as I said, it at least does something here. T-80BV getting a couple of hits. Against the T-62 it would be quite a bit more successful. But Mi-8's now out of ammo, would need to reload. That's more and more Modschützen and Panzerjäger come in, but they can't make it that far forward. A lot more T-62s coming in now as well. D-20s still trying their best. They are now firing into the north. Actually got the CV snipe there. Genra actually back on a +2. That is really important right now. ATGM flying in from the other side though. BMP2s and T80s pushing in here as well. T55 gets a nice kill up there in the north. T80B has to be careful. The T55 gets the first shot on this range. It will kill the T80B. T80B is in a bit of danger there. T55 aims faster, gets the shot, gets the kill. T55 such a CQC monster. Next T80B coming up though. And that might be it for the UVATs here. So +2 for Genra might be over relatively soon. Is up more than 400 points now though. And it's only 10 minutes. So this game might get really, really clutch now. CV in the south still gets defended. But the infantry all got unloaded out in the open. Mi-8s actually reloaded at least though. And T-62s rolling up. T-62 over here might go down to the Malyutka. Malyutka having decent range. Not the greatest of damage. The rockets pretty helpful as well. Strela coming up though now. And that might be the end of the Mi-8 over here. Rockets helping out against Saperi and the BTR. KDA Schützen close to going down there beforehand though. Mi-8 trying to hit around. Strela not quite on target. T-62Ms moving up. But there's still 2 T-80BVs. Rockets hitting the BMP2s. CV in the north does disengage. Gets killed off by the T-80B though. T-62 trying to hold the line. T-80BV is up. CV on the way in the form of a T-80BVK. And obviously T-80B goes down. But obviously if there's a +4 right now for Matrin, that would get the victory quite quick. With a +2 that still things might happen. D20s though will have a tough job trying to kill off that CV over here. And the planes in the north having a rough time as well. MiG-23 trying to hunt down the MiG-27. MiG-27 already going down though before that actually even happens. D20s still have a bit of ammo but not that much. A couple of them already out. So that's not great news either. Genra would have to reinvest into that, and this is starting to look a bit bleak. Even though it's still 400 point advantage, but the north is most likely permanently lost, and the CV should arrive with still 8 minutes remaining, and that with 80 points per minute still is more than enough to catch up to the 400 point advantage of Genra. And the CV in the south also is in heavy danger. Mi-8 TBs do way more damage than they ever were supposed to deal, in my eyes. Like, those Mi-8s did use all their ammo up once more here. Somehow got around to use all that stuff. T-80BV under fire here a bit, but Strela still around. Artillery hitting up the T-62s pretty well over here. Osa gets one of the Mi-8. Second Mi-8 heavily hit as well. Strela should finish the job. Osa already does so. And now that is the end of those defensive units in the south. T-80BVs killing off the last couple of remaining units in the south as well. ATGMs flying for the T-62s in the north. One goes down. And with that, it's a +2 in the north already for Matrin, with a +2 in the south most likely coming up soon as well. As the CV is the only remaining unit in the zone. T-80BVs for now taking an ATGM fight. The T-62, that's totally fine as well. T-62 well, way worse in their armor department. And the ATGM of the T-80BV is also better with the Cobra versus the Bastion on the other side. Su-22 cluster bomber trying to get both at once. Gets one T-80BV. Doesn't not quite go down afterwards. Somehow survives, but the CV goes down. That's a +4, and that's 160 points per minute. Still 7 minutes remaining. That's way more than enough to get this turned around. And Genra keeps on printing T-62s and T-55s, but just not the solution for this game. It's just not the solution for this game. Artillery keeps on pounding, but Genra is getting up there. And it's getting up there quickly. Matrin is getting up there and is getting up there quickly now. Mi-8, MT under fire. Good amount of Iglas, good amount of Strelas. This Mi-20, MiG-21 gets heavily damaged, down to 1 hit point as well. So that won't be around for too long. T-55 might get a gust there, but that's not a game changer whatsoever. As the +4 is really kicking in here now. Genra at 882 points. Matrin already at 650. And Genra's units are down to absolute shambles. Artillery is still around here on the side of Matrin. As I said, I still don't quite get why we saw D20s out of Genra instead of good artillery. Like, the D20 play on both sides is a bit odd to me. And the Malka is just such an insane unit. So, really not sure why we don't see those. I mean, D20 is not half bad, but as I said, they're vulnerable and they don't do the counter very on this map. T62 is under fire. Pioneer Fuhrer tried to get in, has to retreat again. Matrin on the +4, now less than 100 points away from Genra. Genra not able to get the CV in there. T62 is under constant fire of AGMs, and they don't even see too much of it, as they don't have any recon in front of them. Down in the south, a couple of ATGMs flying again. T80BVs getting repaired. Huh? It's down to only one of them. Oh no, second one's down here. Yeah, okay. And we have two T62, T80BVs. The T62s can do a little about you. Yeah, one goes down, second one heavily damaged. Tries to defend itself now. Goes down as well. Third one will most likely get shot upon by the T80BV again. Yeah, down to half hit points. And Matrin now is above Genra in points, and with that, this game is basically over, as there's just no aggressive potential in Genra's deck left whatsoever. So this was a really good game from Matrin, like sticking in there and playing it out slowly but surely from the disadvantage, getting the right combined arms online, and then getting Genra kicked out of here. And I would say Genra, I mean, I like T55s just as much as the next guy, but just spamming T55s and T62s on this map, I don't feel is quite the solution to the problems the opponent puts on you. And especially if you use this, you have to play more aggressive. Like, and you smoke, in my eyes. Like, the T55s are not the most amazing defensive tank. They're solid as a defensive ambush tank, like the T55 that in the north killed the T80B, but like in mass fights, they're not great defensively. They are way better in the offense. Ooh, Cluster gets the CV over here, but the CV of Genra can't make it in. It still would only be a tie. And Matrin already is ahead in points now, so that wouldn't really make the difference. T20s in the south, empty. SU22 coming in, 3 minutes remaining. CV actually excellent for Genra, but HE Bomber and co all on the way, and there's just so much red there, and there's nothing defending actually this leader, so that leader won't stay in there for long. Yeah, no, already gets bombed now by the SU22, gets killed off. SU22 might go down to the flag 57 there, no. And with more than 200 points ahead now, Matrin is on the way to victory. Genra is going to be 0-1 down, and will have to pick it up in game number 2 to keep the chances for the semifinals, and with semifinals, the promotion to Division 1 alive for themselves. So Genra is under pressure here. Last two continuously ticking. BTR 60 BK coming up. T80B rolling forward as well. D30s and D20s sitting in the rear. Matrin with the BMP3 moving forward. 2 minutes remaining. 300 points now. There's just no way for comeback. But really interesting game. Really nice matchup. A matchup that we haven't seen too often in general. And for sure not on the newest patch. So nice to see that KDA is not completely busted anymore. That it is beatable now. And I think Matrin showed a good way of how to beat it. So that was nice to see. Really enjoyed this game. There's another CV tried to come up here. But this is not going to change anything. This is GGVP. And Matrin will get that first step towards the semifinal. Only one step away from it now. The BMP3 and the T62 are fighting each other here. BMP3 gets a nice HGM into the T62 there. Flag 57 hitting the Mi 8 MT. Getting a nice kill there. Never shooting around everywhere. DGM's landing. D20s. Still trying to do as much as possible, but yeah, no. The last couple of seconds ticking. And this is going to be it here. This is going to be it. So, props to our player on the left side here, Matrin, really clinging into this and getting the W here in the end. SU-22 cluster coming out for the BMP3, gets the kill. AA coming out for it, doing a good amount of damage. T-62 under heavy ATGM fire. Will go down in the end. Motschützen moving forward. Motostrelki Medis going down. MiG-23 MLD flying around. And that's the last picture. Well played by Matrin. Really well. A really nice pushback there. Good use of combine arms. Good use of the high power of the TADBV in that matchup. D20s also did well. Did the nice stun downs. Like, they didn't do insane amount of kills here, but they did stand down a lot of units in the important fights and so on. So they helped out with a lot more traits than you see on their kill list. And that's really important. So, well played here to Matrin in game number 1. Let's see if Matrin can follow it up in game number 2, or if Genra can bring it back around. We have seen that a couple of times now. Like, a lot of games that went to game number 3. So let's see if that happens once more. And yeah, the missing of Vimalka was weird. I have to agree with you there, Fantex. Short break. 6-minute break, and then gonna be back. Okay, so here we are again. Matrin is at 1-0, and we are on map number 2, which is Geisa. A lovely, lovely map with a lot of stuff going on. The bands this time around were 39th and 7th Panzer. The band that we haven't seen in a while. 39th and 7th Panzer. The matchup is Matrin with 4th Mordschützen versus Genra with 3rd US. So, a big boy division versus a bit of a rush division. But this time the other way around. Like, Genra with the big boys on the right side. Matrin with the cheap stuff. And the Fallschirmjägers on the left side. And if you want to support these players and their efforts in the tournament, you can do so via Matrin, guys. This tournament's prize pool is crowdfunded by the community, but not just with direct money contribution, though those are highly welcome all the time. You can do so via the contribute button up here in the top, but also via free money that you can add by just interacting here with the sponsors on the side. For example, visiting the website of Lucid Sound adds a couple of cents. More than $10 already come up with this way, but if everyone does that right now in chat, that would be another 20 bucks here easily. You just have to visit the website, don't have to interact with it, and you add 20 cents. Same here with Power A. A survey that takes 2 minutes or so with Matcherino adds another 30 cents down here, for example. So quite easily to add a bit of money here to the prize pool. Every little bit is highly welcome. So yeah, let's see if we can smash the other stretch goals here as well. If we can get up to $600 for the next one. The last one is 800 bucks, where the Division 2 players will get a bit more of the prize pool as well. The winner of Division 2 would then get 50 instead of the 20 bucks that they get at the moment. And the second place would get 20 bucks as well. So, yeah, every bit is welcome. And let's see how this goes. Ultramega Medis coming in on the left side. Good amount of Shulkas behind. BTR, 60 PU coming up as well. Me too. Could fly up to the north. M150, LRS, OH Scouts, Humvees, all around. Ooh, M1A1HA from the get-go. Okay, that is risky, but could be highly rewarded if it pays out. If it gets its job done, that can pay off big time. So let's see how it goes. OH Scouts coming up, Humvees coming up. Should get into the position over here. Yeah. Should get in there. And M150 should be able to get in there as well. LRS moving in through the north. And should be able to get some nice recon in there as well. M150 moving through the south. ATGMs will be able to fire there. AH-64 Apache moving forward. Another Rocket Apache coming up as well. And SPG-9s coming in good numbers. Trying to get into nice spots here. And it's a Me Too helicopter. Flies around in circles. Okay, that's interesting pattern for the from Matrin here. SU-22 Seed coming up here to hunt. Okay. I mean, it's a relatively cheap plane, but Seed not really that effective against 3rd US. The only radar guided thing there is the pivot. But the SU-22 has a good gun, 30mm gun, so it gets the Apache here killed off, and actually might even get the pivot. No, doesn't quite get the pivot, but does deal some damage. F4 Phantom coming around. This one has the long range weapons, has the Sparrow, but it's not an F-15, so it struggles a bit with the kill there on the end. In the end, on the SU-22, and turns in the wrong moment maybe. SU-22 once more coming around, trying to get the next Apache. That does disengage though. Tries to hit the pivot once more, does miss there as well though. And the Phantom tries once more to get the hits, doesn't get the kill though. +3 for Matrin, thanks to the CV in the rear. Vulture Mega's got into solid spots, but the Apache is in the middle, might be problematic. Shilkas moving around, those can be good against the Apaches. F4 Phantom tries to get the Me Too helicopter over here. Can it get the kill? Yes, it can. Flies directly over the Shilkas though, and that might end badly for the Phantom. Phantom gets dusted here, as the Shilkas are powerful tools there. +3 for Matrin going on. Whilst the M1A1HA moving forward. Yeah, the SU-22 is a nice helicopter hunter. The Seed, because it has good ECM. It still pins down the pivots, and it has the 30mm, which kills off Apaches pretty quickly. And can do somewhat well against enemy planes as well. So the Seed plane does make sense even against 3rd US, but really just as the helicopter hunter that it was used for. And it did the job. It killed one Apache, so made sense. I mean, other SU-22s could do the job as well, but the Seed one makes somewhat sense, even though there's not that many targets with radar. Fire teams with Bradleys moving up here. +3 for Matrin. Still no CV on the other side, but a good amount of Bradleys coming around here now. Apache sitting up there. M1A1 moving in. And the CV into this spot can always be super annoying on this map. Next Bradley coming up. First CV now moving onto the battlefield for Genra. Will equalize the +3 situation. But the next CV coming out from Matrin as well. Coming up for the center zone. Couple T-55s coming with it as well. Conquerors moving forward. Good amount of Strellas to deal with the Apaches whenever they come up. SPG-9s and so on sitting in the front line. Dealing with M1A1s, you can't deal with them frontally. You just really can't as fourth. You don't have anything with more than 20 penetration. Like your best penetration are the Conquerors with 20 penetration. So you have to get side shots, you have to cluster it, you have to artillery it, like all the indirect ways of hitting it. But you can't fight direct fights against the tanks of 3rd US. Especially the M1A1. Even on super short range, your T-55s don't do much damage there. Like even in absolute CQC frontally, your T-55s do little damage there, whilst they obviously get absolutely shredded by the M1A1HA. So you have to be somewhat careful there. The T-55, AM2B, and AM2 moving to the battlefield. The AM2B with the long-range ATGM can be quite helpful with that, zoning out enemy units. Bradley's coming around in good numbers. M150 trying to get an ATGM here. Onto target. Gets to deal 4 damage, but is now being shot by the T-55. 5 smoking off after missing the shot. M150 repositioning. Bradley moving forward as well. Falchemega Medis versus LRS. Falchemega Medis now a bit better, now that they have 6 Medis instead of 4 Medis ATGMs. Well, it's a good amount of Bradleys. And Engineer Flashes move on the battlefield. M1A1 coming in as well. No CVs, no extra CVs on the side of Genra yet. But Matrin brings in the next one. 414 point advantage. We'll get to a bigger point advantage with the +2 from the center. Me-24D. That's another nice unit for 4th. You get a lot of cheap Me-24Ds. You get 2 of them per card. 110 points only. Because they have good rockets, they have a good gun. And this one is the AA one, but the AA missile is absolutely terrible. The R60 only deals 3 damage and has limited range and really limited accuracy as well. So it's an absolutely terrible AA missile, but it sometimes can make the difference. So it's really not what you buy this helicopter for. The AA part of this is kind of something you just take as the cherry on top that sometimes does something. Most of the time just doesn't. You should never calculate with the Me-24D killing something in the air. The Su-22 coming around. Actually might hit the pivot this time around. Yeah, does so. Pivot not microed by Genra. The helicopter goes down as well to the Shilka, so the Su-22 didn't need to do that. That's the first artillery piece has arrived for Genra. An M109 on the battlefield. +4 for Matrin now, as the second zone in the south has been captured as well. And that's more than 500 point advantage now. So that's already quite sizable. But Genra has a lot of units in Matrin's zone over here. Matrin, though, is pushing a bit into the north. That's, I would say, a pretty good idea here. As fighting into this open battlefield, as 4th sounds like a bit of a fiasco. Like a big potential for a big fiasco there. Me-24D 82 coming around instead to the north as well. A lot of rockets. Good amount of ATGMs. ATGMs here though also pretty terrible. The Falang P. Falang short range, low accuracy, low damage, low flying speed. But the Bradley's getting overwhelmed by the helicopter, by the T-55s. And now only the M1A1 is sitting here. And that one can be overwhelmed as well. CV coming up here. Stop the +4. As Matrin is closing in on 700 points now. Conquerors coming around as well. More and more T-55As. Rolling in onto the battlefield too. Coming up to the north, T-55. Getting the Bradleys killed. 1A1. Sitting back here. T-55 AM2Bs and AM2s hitting all around the place as well. Getting nice hits. Engineers under fire. Me-24D flying forward. Engineers under heavy fire now. Pivot moving forward. M1A1 will kill off the tanks if they can fight it one by one. They shouldn't run away from the ATGM. The ATGM doesn't deal much damage. The M1A1 does a lot of damage. You always react like that when you see ATGMs flying. ATGMs always feel scary because you always think of Hellfires and TOW2s. But if you deal, if you're in gun range with your M1A1 against the T55 AM2B and they are firing the ATGM on you, you don't have to worry about anything. It does 1 damage per hit, whilst you deal at least half, 5 damage per hit. So you 2-shot them, whilst they need like 10 ATGMs to kill you, which they don't even have. So you really shouldn't run away with the M1A1 here. This M1A1 would make the trade way better if it would actually fight right now. It leaves the fights to the soft skin unit though, the Bradleys, the M150s and so on, and that means that the trade actually doesn't go super well for Genra right now. But now M1A1 comes around, gets the first T55 killed. Next one should be down in a second as well. Next kill onto the Chaparral over there though. But yeah, T55 AM2 now down to 2 hit points. Pops the smoke. Might get out of there. Bradley's and co. Engaging over here. CV on the way to the middle, but Matrin up to nearly 400 point, 900 point advantage now. Bringing in a CV for the northern flag. Bradley moving around. M1A1 moving around. Ooh, you don't want to get side-shotted though. That was close. Okay, popping smoke now, getting side-shotted by the tank. Yeah, that's not how you want to move the M1A1 around this battlefield here. Like as I said, so, yeah, frontal shots don't do much. That's another 1 damage there. Su-22 seat flying around. MiG-21 HE. Not hitting actually. Okay, that's odd. M1A1 gets repaired now. Could use another supply unit. Bradley coming around. Tow Cobra goes down to the Su-22. Not enough AA around, no planes around. Genra leaving the helicopters out to die, and that's pretty painful. Like, the helicopters in third are really valuable. So leaving them out like this. Yeah, another one goes down to the Su-22. The Su-22 absolute MVP so far for Matrin here. Even though it only did kill 1 unit with seat, but it killed a hell of a lot of helicopters. M1A1 is fully repaired again. Could easily take out all these tanks here. Conquerors is a bit dangerous. That deals a couple of damage per hit, but still also doesn't do it quickly. Mi-24D, not really dangerous with the Phalang P either. Bradley. T-55 here versus Bradley is a dangerous fight for both sides. They deal a hell of a lot of damage. The TOW 2 does 1-shot. Bradley is now out of tows though, so has to be careful. Next Bradley comes in. Does miss actually though. And the T-55A gets the kill. 55A a bit cheaper actually than the Bradley. But the Bradley here now, the second one gets the kill. CV on the way for getting in here. Matrin moving up with the CV as well though. Second M1A1 is around. And that is a bit of a problem. Yes, fourth, at this stage you kind of want to play a lot with smoke. Like if you smoke all of this and then move the T-55s into the infight, then you might break them, but you kind of need smoke. Artillery coming out of the 30s this time again. Matrin loving those kind of artillery pieces. Those towed artillery pieces. We don't see Genra reacting much with the M109 just yet. M109 should have the range to counter battery this time around though. This map not quite as long as the one before. Mi-24D not quite going down to the plane. Plane gets shut down here by the Shilkas. M1A1 under fire. Maddie's getting another side shot there. Ooh, Genra, yeah, getting a surprising amount of side shots here. Not quite with the correct movement on the units. And that is pretty painful. So, yeah. What do you say, chat? Is it... I mean, I'd still say that Genra has the advantage. It's the right side also is the bit stronger side of the map because of this position that they can capture here in the middle, and it's now a +2 for Genra, but it will take a hell of a long time to get up to the 1000 point, and I think the pressure here is still pretty decent. And I'm surprised how little AA there is for Genra. Like, no stingers, no, especially no F-15s. Like, why do so many people use the F-4s? Yeah, you get 4 of them per card, but they're completely useless in my eyes. I don't know why so many people use the F-4s when the F-15 is around. Like, 2 F-15s outtrade 4 F-4s every time of the day, in my eyes. And the F-4 just, is way too slow. Like, it's a cool looking plane, yeah, but it's not a good plane in the game for the tournament. With prize money on the line. Don't know. At least that's my position of it. Like, it doesn't have good missiles. It is slow. It has a mediocre gun. It has the same gun then as the F-15, but the F-15 has good missiles. And it's super fast. And has good ECM. Like, everything about the F-15 is awesome. Phantom. Pretty lackluster. M109's now coming in. Firing onto the Strela. Strela getting hit here. 1A1 could move forward. Chaparral coming up as well. Bradley's moving up here. And 1A1 sitting in the bushes. With defensive play. And Genra has captured the zone over here. Fire team and engineers moving forward. Through the tree line over here. Closing in onto the Vulture mega position. But another Hind on the other side. The Mi-24D coming around. And that's a lot of helicopters. And there's not much AA here. There's one Chaparral. One Chaparral. Ah no, there's a second Pivot as well. Okay, Pivot and Chaparral maybe can stem the tide there. Because Chaparral only have 4 missiles. And then they have to reload. And that takes a hell of a long time. And most of the time, some of the missiles miss as well, as they only have 50% accuracy. So, yeah, Chaparrals can be overwhelmed. Chaparrals can be overwhelmed here. Let's see. +2 still for Genra up, but still 700 points to take. The 2 D30s coming in, but counter battery finally has arrived. And the D30 is under fire. Has 8 hit points. So it will take a while to kill them off. Yes, it's not M110s, it's M109s firing. But the M109s... Oh no, they changed target. Changed target for the CV over here. They stopped counter batterying. Which in my eyes is a mistake. D30s moving around. I mean, the killing off the T-55 can be worthwhile as well. And they do a good job at that. Matrin not moving that out. Would be a +4. +4 changes the speed by quite a bit. That's then 160 points per minute instead of 80 points per minute. So Genra would catch up quite a bit faster. M1A1 trying to kill off the T-55 here. AT plane coming in though. But does miss. Pivot does survive as well. ST-22 under fire by the Pivot. Chaparral is reloading. Ooh. Something stunned down the M1A1 here for a bit, but it does still stand, and it's still nearly full life. Back to full life thanks to the M35 here. And there's not that many AT weapons right now around here. Only a couple of T-55s. The Mi-24Ds can't really come in yet. Pivot and Chaparral still around. So the M1A1s hold the ground. The 2 M1A1s absolute MVPs here. I mean, they're also pretty expensive compared to everything on the other side. 240 points against 55 point and 85 point units here. But the third one now arriving. 3 Bradleys. And I feel like Genra should be able to roll this over afterwards. Apache trying to move around. Has to be careful. Ooh. Got stunned down already. And there is a lot of anti-helicopter in the north. The Strelas in the south are scary as well. A lot of Modschützen trying to move forward. T-55A down to 1 hit point. M1A1 and Co could actually roll this over here. The M1A1 HA with a bit of recon infantry and a bit of recon helicopters could easily kill this. But they don't. M1A1 not trying to get the kill there. That's a bit weird to me. Rather moves through the north, but through the forest. Also not moving in here to shoot anything up in the open. The M1A1 movement here, pretty terrible by Genra, to be honest. Apache getting a nice shot though. The Apache positioning is really nice here. The anti-helicopter of Matrin not following the push, and the push here gets decimated by the Apache. Absolute war machine. Motostrelki under fire. T-55 CV comes in the north. It's back to a draw. As this and this zone are contested. This zone's supposed to be Matrin's, this zone's supposed to be Genra's. So back to a draw. Matrin still up 500 points nearly. And the artillery coming around here. Strela finally moving forward. Apache going down. M1A1HA and Fireteam Law still around here to deal with the T55A. T55A here will go down as the M1A1 gets the first shot. Next one is around. Gets the shot into the M1A1, but that should be another kill. Yeah. HA, even in this close range, only takes 2 damage there. That shows you really how much more quality that unit has. Because it easily one-shots the T55 in return. So this push is thwarted, but the T55 is still alive here. With 1 hit point, but it is still alive. Because the M1H1, A1HA did not move up here. I don't know why. There's really little that this thing has to fear. Counter-artillery now also finally coming around, gets the first T30, so Matrin is suffering. CV in the north got killed off as well. Genra up on the +2. Slowly catching up here to Matrin. And the D30s now have to worry about the counter battery. 109 moving around. First D30 down. Akatsia's now coming in. Another CV that will try to get into the north. As the M1A1 HA still are around. Bradley's and infantry in the north, though, got massacred. The Matrin's helicopters and infantry there did a good job. So, yeah, there are a lot of heavy tanks now. There's a lot of Abrams on the battlefield. 3 M1A1s, 2 M1A1 HAs, but little infantry actually, and little recon. Like, next to no recon. A couple of LRS here, and LRS down here, but no recon whatsoever in the north. That is a bit annoying. All the OH helicopters shut down by the Su-22 and co. So, really solid play on that regard by Matrin, but still has to stop the take, has to keep the point advantage going. And the M1A1s start to make that really difficult. Late game, 3rd US is such a powerhouse because of those beasts. Well, one more Schützen try to move in the north. Shilka moving forward as well. Trying to get a place where it can deal with the Apache. M109s once more trying to snipe the CV, it seems. Oh no, hitting the frontline units here. SPG and Vulture Mega Medis. Those might go down quickly there, yeah. But SPG at least does die pretty quickly. Vulture Mega goes down to half the hit points. And 109s now switch to another target. 1 for counter battery. And 1 to hit the south, I guess. Yeah, 1 to try to snipe the CV. And 1A1HA a bit underutilized here. Like, especially if you control this, you should have a CV up here. And then the M1HA could snipe units on the road. Easily from over here. Everything that moves through there just gets shot. Like, you could do a lot of damage with that. CV coming up for the north. Supply truck over here might go down. Yes. Nice snipe on that supply truck. But the D30 has to be careful. Now on the counter battery once more. Artillery down here to the south doesn't do much. But the next D30 might go down here. Takes 2 damage with that first hit. The others not landing as well. Now, down to 3 hit points. Where's the last one landing? Is that getting the kill? No. Okay, D30 is alive for now. That's good news for Matrin. Whilst the infantry is pushing around for Genra in the north. CV is around here for Matrin. +2 for Genra, still taking though. As the zone in the center is still contested. And Genra is really closing in now. And it's still 17 minutes. So Matrin has to find a way to turn around this game a bit. T55 Ace once more moving in. But if you don't use smoke, you fight against M1A1s on mid and long ranges, it's just not gonna work out. You need the side shots, you need smoke to make this work. Maybe helicopters, if you kill all the AA, I guess. Mi-24Ds flying over everything and murdering everything could be an option. If no F-15s are around. But there should be a good amount of Chaprals and stuff in that deck, so getting rid of all of those will take a while, especially as Genra is reacting relatively quickly to the artillery fire as well. M109's not on the most accurate positions here right now. M1A1HA. I really don't know why this thing isn't looking further out to the field. Ooh. Where's that sound coming from? Bradley moving around. No air force whatsoever on either side. Has to be careful of all the Mudschützen with their RPG 7VL. Mudschützen behind the line. Be 4 M1A1s sitting around. Bit more recon, a bit more infantry in front of this, and these could easily counter push here. As is, Matrin is still threatening the point over here. MiG-21 coming in with a nice bombing run. But most likely won't hit much. No, won't hit anything at all. MiG-21, pretty big loser there. As Genra is crawling up to Matrin's points. Is close to getting the advantage here in this game number 2. T-55's coming around. 2 artillery pieces in the rear, still alive. And Matrin is in a tough spot now. 4th, usually really a division to punch the enemy continuously in the face from the get-go and clawing your way to victory quickly by just having a bit better combined arms after every single trade and using that advantage in combined arms to get around. But if you give the enemy a time to get their combined arms online, as their combined arms is more expensive but also higher quality than yours, you are often in a bit of a pickle with 4th. We have another big assault here coming in though. Hey, Monline98, thanks for the follow. Much appreciated. As the SPWs with Mudschützen move forward, Mudschützen move in the north. It's a draw again, but Genra now has the advantage, so Matrin needs more than this. Is assaulting this position with a lot of stuff, and the M1A1 is still not looking out for sniping anything out in the open. I don't get that M1A1 position. HE bombers coming around, get the CV here. Ooh, that will be a +2 for Genra, for Matrin again. Chapral's not getting the planes killed off. M1A1HA over here gets bombed to death as well. AA set up, and still no F-15s here. That's a big omission by Genra, and that might cost Genra the game here actually, maybe. As having no AA when the enemy comes around with the Su-22 sniping your Abrams here with the AT and the bombers. That is really, really painful. We are now down to only 2 Abrams from 5 within a minute or 2. That's a painful loss here for Genra. Should be able to push the Mudschützen out, but Matrin is now the one with the advantage again. So that means Genra will have to push once more, and currently it's Matrin that is flooding in here, and there's little left here. There's really little left here for Genra in the center. The tanks were the big investments, but they were really weakly protected. They had no recon, they had no infantry in front of them, and they had especially no AA. Where is the F-15, Genra? Where are the F-15s? Where are the Eagles when you bloody need them? As over here, another M1A1HA is trying to push. This push should do well, but air power can bomb this into the Stone Age as well. First MiG-21 already out. Those are super cheap, and that's a lot of targets at once. Okay, 2 Fireteam Dragon Laws taking heavy damage, but that could be way worse. Helicopters could come around. Like, there's no AA here whatsoever. Where's the F-15s? Where's the bloody Air Force? When you need them, Genra. Where is it? M1A1HA pushing forward. Apache sitting around in the north. Mudschützen, for some reason, still alive. There's literally nothing defending them right now. That CV should not be alive. That Matrin got another 100 points of ticks here is a big mistake by Genra. But still has the potential to overwhelm this whole situation over here. So Bradley's moving for the infight here. M1A1HA moving for the infight as well. That's all risky business. Bradley's trying to deal with the T-55. Bushmaster doing a good job there, but get killed off before the T-55 does fall. Bradley's and Fireteam's Law is moving forward. LRS coming up there as well. BTR 60 coming in for the center. Matrin up with 130 points now. CV in the north finally got killed. CV over here moved on to the other side. Mi-24 PAT gets the first Bradley. Next Bradley on the line. M1A1HA under fire, LRS under fire as well. SU-22 AT is around. The Abrams have to be careful. Still no extra AA. Another Abrams instead, but tanks. Genra seems to be, in both games, investing into too many tanks, and that might be the mistake. Tanks are great, tanks are beautiful, but tanks don't help you at all on their own. Tanks are part of combined arms, but tanks on their own don't work. They don't see, they don't hit air, and they don't fight well in forests. So you need something to support them. You need something to support for them. F-15 finally around. Ooh, there's a lot of AA though. Will it get out alive? It is an absolutely great beast. So the F-15 here will survive. 2 hit points. Got a kill there. Will get out alive. F-15 finally around. Another CV coming in here for the center. The other one is trying to dodge. Matrin back to a +2. But if this gets captured again by Genra, that would be a +2 for Genra again. We have the CV sitting in over here. Oh, it loads back in. That doesn't make any sense. M1A1HA moving forward. T-55 here will die. They don't stand a chance against this whatsoever. CV is around. 10 minutes only remaining, so time is of the essence. No AA still in the south. Me-24P is down to 1 hit point. Where are the AA pieces? F-15 coming around, trying to kill it. Doesn't find the kill though. Ooh, it has to be really, really careful with all the planes around, all the AA around. Dude doesn't really want to turn that way. MiG-21 gets hunted by the F-15. Doesn't get the kill though. SU-22HE doesn't get the kill onto the T-50, M1A1 either, but F-15 has to get the hell out. One of the MiG-21s gets killed off by the AA over here, Sprawl doing its job. But the Mi-24D AT is still around, and the M1A1HA here has been whittled down to only a couple of hit points now. Down to 4. And the Mi-24D is still around, still has ATGMs. T-55A here goes down. CV is in the rear here for Matrin as well. 9 minutes remaining. Mod-Schützenaufklärer seal hell of a lot over here. M1A1 still around. Little AA for them in the north though. Military police moving forward. OH scout coming in. Mi-24D still up here. Chaparral should move to try to get the kill there. Artillery will try to kill the Chaparral. Good idea for Matrin here. CV is pretty low as well here. And if the helicopters can fly around widely, free and wild, then I don't think Genra can get this turned around again. F-15 will try to get the kill there. Will get one. Shilkas though on its heel. Deal a good amount of damage already. F-15 has to get the hell out of there. Apache doing a nice counterattack in the north. No AA around here anymore. So the Apache is going wild for now. SU-22 might come around for it though. MiG-29 trying to kill the F-15. Not successful though. MiG-29, does it come around for the Apache? That would be a nice kill. Has a 30mm, should be able to kill it off relatively quickly. Artillery trying to kill the CV over here. Not quite on target though. And the infantry push got killed off. CV is still back here as well. M1A1HA got killed off. Helicopter here still alive. So it seems like Matrin might get the second game in an absolute clutch scenario once more. As Genra is running out of steam, and it's a draw with Matrin in the lead. Seaplane coming around, trying to hit the Apache. Apache already will get killed off by the Shilka though. Seaplane flying deeper here. F-15 once more being around. Has a good amount of missiles. Doesn't get it on target on the SU-22 though. But yeah, these F-15s needed to be around way earlier. The SU-22s, ATs, and Seats did so much damage to Genra's forces here. Decimating them heavily, and all the tanks are down to 2 now. CV gets killed in here, and Matrin will be up to a +2 again. There's really little here in the south for Genra for the counter push. No CV, only 7 minutes now, and the +2 is on again. M1A1's in the north now, desperately trying to push forward, but that obviously opens the map for side shots, for example, from the RPG and so on. And then this is already down to 3 hit point. That should go down relatively soon if it keeps on moving like that. Fajimi and Medi still have ATGMs as well. So this is really risky behavior. M1A1 here moving around. The Mod-Aufklärer nearly in range. Now they can fire the AT weapon. Medis already does the job though. So +2 here for Matrin. 300 points ahead. Engineer Dragons moving forward. HE Bomber coming in. We'll get the M113 MiG-21s coming in the north. Get another nice kill. It seems to be Matrin, guys. It seems to be Matrin and this one once more. And that would mean that Matrin and Fantix will play in the semifinal. As Genra is just not having anything left here. Really interesting play. Really clutch game. Couple of mistakes on both sides, but in general, Matrin did the right plays, did play around nicely around the heavy big boy tanks. Couple of attacks that were a bit suicidal, but you can risk that. You have the numbers as fourth to do so, and yeah, saw that there was too little AA. Used that up. Used this Su-22 to hunt down the helos really well. And yeah, Genra with too little air power. With too little anti-air and too little air power to protect the helicopters. And then ended up on only tanks, and tanks only doesn't quite work. Yes, this is a best of 3. Semifinals and finals will be best of 5. So really, really well done here by Matrin. And 1-1 moving forward. Didn't quite get the game to a success when he won it at the early game, but still made it work in the long run, which is really not easy with fourth. Especially not on this side, and so on. So yeah, props to Matrin to making it work here. Couple more M1A1s coming up, and yeah, Genra a bit hung up on the tanks. In both games, I would say, buying half the amount of tanks and buying double the amount of support from what happened would have done better. As then also you would have more tanks alive still, because you would have the support to keep the tanks alive. You would have the AA to protect the tanks from the hazards that came for them. You would have the infantry to screen for them in the forests here. And stuff like that. Like, if you don't have recon around, I understand why you don't want to bring out your tank. But if you have recon here, you can move your HA around, shoot stuff, move back, move it up again. A bit too little recon for these tanks. But hey, that's it. Matrin is going to get it. 1A, 1HA. And then 1A1's desperately trying to move forward here. A bit of recon coming around with them as well. But with only 4 minutes remaining and more than 400 points difference already. There's just no way that this game is going to be turned around. And 1A1's all over the battlefield moving forward. This is not going to be it. Su-22 coming in again. AT GM below it will do a good job. 1A, 1HA under fire. Bomber coming in, TOW 2 getting hit. Su-22 HE coming in for the M1A1 over here. Gets a nice kill as well. Seed flying around. Abrams trying to kill the T-55. Gets the T-55. +2 still up. Matrin keeps on. Seed plane flying around. AT moving forward. Akatsuya now even doing the counter battery, but that really all doesn't matter. 500 points ahead. So yeah, it's the first time that we saw fourth in the playoffs. I think we didn't see fourth Fallschirmjäger, fourth Motorisierte with the Fallschirmjäger battalion attached in the playoffs just yet. But they're still good. They're still good. T-55s not as OP anymore as before, so they have been nerfed a bit with that. But they're still a really good deck. And that's nice. It's nice to see that we see so many different divisions win in the playoffs. Like, it really shows that the balance is coming together. I mean, we still have a couple of divisions that are a bit underpowered. We still have a couple of divisions that are, especially not, maybe not quite divisions, but we have a couple of units that are highly annoying and a bit OP, like the SPG-9s and so on. But still, WARNO is really coming together. I'm absolutely enjoying my time with it at the moment, especially on the casts, but also on the play again. Since I found a couple of divisions that work again. So yeah, really hyped for when the game is out and about. And really hyped to what we gonna see in the semifinals and the finals. One more quarterfinals of Division 2 is remaining. We're gonna cover that tomorrow, I think, or Wednesday. We'll have to check the schedule for that. So yeah, Mi-24P moving around, M1A1 and M1HA under fire here. Looking rough. ATGM coming around. H.A. Abrams on the fire. Bradley moving up as well. 1A1 coming around here. Abrams in the south, going down. 1 minute remaining. And this is going to be it. This is absolutely going to be it. Bradley on the fire. James coming up. Toe2 on the fire as well. And this is it. GGVP. Matrin gets the W. Genra is eliminated for this time around. Will have one more season in Division 2 next year. But yeah, most likely next year and next season. As the next season should start earlier in 2022 when the game hopefully launches. As I don't expect a WARNO launch this year. Like season 1 is supposed to start around the launch of the game, like 1 or 2 weeks later. And yeah, Matrin up to the semifinals. We'll meet Fantix there. So GGVP here with the 2-0 victory. So that leaves one semifinal open that we will cover. And the next couple of days, let's have a look on the stream schedule. I think it's tomorrow. Might be the day after. What did I put in here? Oh no, it will be Wednesday. Tomorrow will be ST2 League. Yeah, we didn't cast ST2 in a couple of days. And there has been a lot of games. So tomorrow will be Steel Division 2. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream here now. You can always find the stream schedule for each week from here on out on playsdl.com, guys, if you want to see when we're going to be live on our website. And yeah, with that said, thanks for watching. And I hope to see you next one. Thanks for all the follows. Thanks for all the subs. They mean a lot. They help out a lot as well. And yeah, let's send you somewhere else. Let's see. Who could we rate? Let's have a look on Twitch. Komaka. Yeah, let's rate Komaka. Playing Warhammer 40k Darktide. Have fun over there, guys. Thanks for watching. And have a nice day.